for me to deliver this. Yeah, so let's do it. But before we start, let's not be too serious. Yeah, it will make me too nervous. So, hey everyone, just say hello. Hello everyone. Yes. Disclaimer: whatever I'm going to present to you today, it's more of experiments. And funny enough, I even went on YouTube. There are no much resources about it. So don't be too serious about it. Yeah, consider it like just playing around. So don't be too serious. So hello everyone. Yeah, but that's still low energy. Hello. Cool. Yeah. So what we are going to see today is Python for the web. Yeah. What if you could click buttons with just Python? I know Python for the web is not new as a concept. There are already frameworks that are doing full stack development with Python. There is Django, there is Flask, and others. Though what is new is actually using Python for front end. Because most libraries, tools out there, yes, they use Python for the web, but not for the front end part. If you are doing that and it's relatively new area that is being explored. So today I'm about to tell you more on that. So just like you see there, we are going to explore interesting ways that we could use Python. And it has a lot of benefits, trust me, and interesting. That's just like a little kind of code snippet to give you the idea. Um, yeah, so about me, well, well, I never about okay, I never want to talk about myself mostly, but maybe today I should. And I also will take this chance to remove some myths about me. I know a lot of people had myths about who I am. I'm Husein Kizz, but if you want to find me in a village, I'm Husein Kizz, but Kizz is like, yeah, the name I like the most to be called. I'm a software engineer. Much as I look like how you see me now, I've done quite a couple of things. I've seen a lot of things and all that. That will come to the myth section. But yeah, most of my time I've spent it in web development. Um, yeah, but I also do other things I'm going to know in a sec. I like open source, yeah, and I also like developer communities. I like to make the ecosystem better than how I found it or me when I got started. So a few things I want to first, like, which are like myths about me. I know, number one, some people might think I'm a people's person. That is, I'm very comfortable around people. What? That's because in online communities I speak a lot or what. But honestly, I'm not. Um, I'm kind of, I don't know, so I'm confused, but I think I'm kind of an introvert. So people give me some tension, like especially physically. Online we can talk sure till day, but physically I'm not so comfortable with a lot of people. So if I don't approach you, approach me. That's the funny part. I speak when you speak to me, I speak. That's it. So that's thing number one. Another thing is about my age. Yeah, I know I look like 10 or something, but I'm in my mid 20s. Yeah. Yeah, my age has also been, and people online, some think I'm 40, others think I'm 50, and then those who see me think I'm 10. In reality, I'm in my mid 20s. That's also a myth to take out. Um, another myth is about what I do. Most people think I only do front end and I only do JavaScript, for example. That's what most people know me for. But in reality, I do a lot of things. A lot of things. I'm actually struggling to find a way to package all of them together in a sensible way. I can do, you know, I can mix music, like I'm a good DJ. On a serious note, I can sing, I can, yeah, I can sing actually. Back in the days, very, very back then, I had ever recorded a song. That's how serious it is. I can sell things. I can sell anything. I can code. Then I can do a lot of things. Then code wise, I I also do backend as well, guys. Where I work, for example, I'm a backend engineer mostly these days, and mostly uh, part of our stack, part of it is Python. So I do Python on a day-to-day on my job. So you think I'm a JS guy only? No, 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 that's not true. For the front-end side, I won't have to say much at this point. You'll see later, but I've also done that part quite some time. I also do other things, anything code and development. Yeah, I won't break everything down. But if you find me here and there, don't be surprised. Most people know me for one thing. That's also a myth I wanted to take away using this opportunity. Um, well, um, that is it for now about me. Maybe one more thing is I work for some fintech company. It's called Kisa Developers. We deal in microfinance institutions. Okay, financial softwares and then also enterprise software. But me as a person, I also do consulting. I can model any kind of complex system or whatever, architect it or all that. Yeah, maybe that's also something I'll show another day. But anything, even if you just have questions, you can approach me, especially that I'm here. Online people come in a lot in the inbox, but here you can still approach me. Okay, that done. That is all about me. Uh, More we will see as we go. If you have questions, just note them down. You can ask them. There will be a Q&A session. All right, so what and why? As I said, we are going to see how we could use Python for web development for both backend and front end. And the front end part is what I want to focus mostly on here. I know you've done Python for the web. You've used Django, Flask, Fast API, and the rest. Templating, you've used Ginger and all that. So I won't bother you with that much, but I want to take you to this area that is interesting and yeah, and I'm going to take you to the future of programming in a bit. So, why? Why would you want to use Python for front end, for example? One, performance. Python and its flavors, for example, C Python, I guess they are all like they are very, very close to performance of C, and we know C is as fast. Now, if we could have some kind of such ability in our applications, apps could be fast and could be able to handle more things. For example, recently the Chrome team is shipping an AI in the browser. You know, just like you say window dot something, you can say window dot AI. That's in the latest version. And you have an AI model in the browser. It's built in, you don't have to install anything. Now, leveraging such, you need, again, a powerful language. So maybe you could use Python. Then, of course, um, code reusability. Um, you a good Python dev. You've been doing Python for quite some time. So how about if you could extend that skill to even build the interfaces and all that? Because you learn your Python, you're so good, but then you reach the front end part, you are like, I'm putting a flag. Who can help me? Yeah. So, but what if you could use your skills, the same skills you already have? Yeah. Then another one is tooling and ecosystem. We've just seen in some previous session how to have AI models and do predictions and all that. Now, what if you could just run that code in the browser straight away? You do your app, like you, because we had to, in the session that we had with the previous session, if you've been there, it was about you had a Django server running, for those who are running the server, and then you had a fast API server running, which is now serving the model. Now, what if you didn't have to do that? They could all live under the same roof, so that even if you were to do again the front end, you could also like have it in the same code base. Yeah, kind of the thing. And look at the ecosystem and the tooling Python has for everything, for artificial intelligence, everything for, it has a lot of tooling. If we could reuse that in web applications, the better. And I mean not on the not even on the back end, but even for the front end. Yeah. For example, libraries like even the one of these libraries of data science that plot things, they could plot something and we have it on the front end as well. Yeah, those are, of course, they are trade-offs, yeah, but the benefits are way too much. All right, next. Now, this is the actual thing. If anyone, you're not stable mentally or what, you can tell me, but here, hold your seat belts. These concepts I'm going to talk about here, I was looking at different languages and different frameworks and seeing what they do, because here is why you've not seen a lot of Python being used for front end. You know why? It's because the browser doesn't understand Python. The browser was made to just understand, let's say, JavaScript. So, but we want to use Python. Now, because of that barrier, it's why we've not seen this a lot. Yeah, there is that barrier. It's like a foreign land. It's like taking you, a Ugandan, and I put you in China, yet you don't know Chinese. Much as you great or what, it might be hard for you to even do anything. So that's what the situation we had at hand. And various techniques have been coming up to try to remove that barrier. Because if we remove that such a barrier, it means you can learn your Python and you can do, you don't need React, for example. You would just use your Python. You don't need anything else to build even the front ends. You can do your backend and all that. So these are different kind of ideas I came about with, and some are documented, others are not. Others I drew from my experience from working with front end and these things. Yeah. I happen to also have ever made some, maybe I'll talk more about it, a framework, but in the JS world. So I know how these things work, like on that level. So I happen to come up with these ones, but this is not only a Python problem, it's a general issue. If we solve it for Python, we have solved it for every language out there, apart from JavaScript. So which means this is the future of programming. The future of programming is not one language being only used in one part. The future of programming is every language being able to work in any environment. You know, we have got Jupyter notebooks in the JS world. Yeah, thanks to Deno. So that's one. But same time, we've got Python in the browser. So maybe web devs and JS people now brag a less because Python is there now also. And me, when I first heard of these kind of innovations a few months back, I was like, you can't use Python for front end. What's that? That can't make sense. It can't work. But now it's very funny that I'm the same person here telling you about it, and I'm excited about it. What has changed? We're going to see. So this is not only a Python problem. And if you learn this, these patterns I'm going to explain, you can use this knowledge in a lot of ways. For example, Anyway, when I explain those, I'll give examples. You'll see what I mean. So, let me go and start explaining about them. There is the old road. Who knows Massacre Road here? Yeah. You people, you've never been in jam, because if you did, you probably would have knew that road. Anyway, the old road, I mean the old ways of doing things. There are some Python frameworks that are already using Python for web development. But quote me well, they may not necessarily be termed as using it for front-end development, but web development. Because web has two parts. You need a web backend and a web frontend to have a web system. So, examples of those, there is Django, there is Flask, there is Fast API and whatnot. These ones usually use a templating system, for example, Ginger. And what they do, this one I don't need to draw for you the whatevers, but what they do is this. You do your markup in some sort of a templating language, and then they get that, they make an HTML string, and that's what they send to the browser. So they don't send Python to the browser. And that's why with them, you can't necessarily do things like click buttons. Because if they are to do such, they need JavaScript. In them, you can do your HTML, you can do CSS when you get to that part of. If they allow you to do so, just know they have another mechanism that converts whatever you do to, let's say, some JavaScript logic, because the browser only understands JavaScript. Let me show you the problem at hand in a simple way here. I still have time, hopefully. Okay. So, I'll draw. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you what the problem we have so that you understand it well. Anyway, as that is loading, yeah, we keep going. Ooh. Yeah, I was here. Yeah. So, yeah, we go with that. Okay. So, the old road is how you know things are working. If you know Ginger, if you know Django, if you know what, and you've used Django templates, if you used templates in Flask, that's what I'm talking about, the old way of doing things. And there are interesting patterns you can do with the old way alone. There is client-side rendering, server-side rendering. Yeah, there are many. I decided not to bother you with those. Then over the wire, who knows Livewire here in Laravel? Who knows Livewire? Who knows Laravel here? Well, a few people. Wow, interesting. Well, over the wire is you have a front end this side, you have a back end this side. So what you do, you build a wire from your back end to your front end. Now, whenever you want to do something, let's say user clicks a button on the front end, you pass the message over the wire like, hey, someone has clicked a button. Then the wire responds back. It's like, I want to, have you ever seen these things where you put a thing here, you put a wire, then the other person listens on? Who has ever tried that when you were young? Yeah. So that's the kind of the concept. Let me see if the other guy has loaded so that I can show you, sir. Oh. Really? Let's see. It's going to beta. Okay. Want that to load. Is it connected? Yeah, it's just a Google search. All right. Anyway, so let me try to explain it now. I have no visuals to show you. But who knows WebSockets? WebSockets? All right. Who knows how chat applications work? so that you can chat with the other person in real time. Yeah, they use WebSockets. So WebSockets, who knows REST API? Just a REST API. I'm sure we all know, right? Yeah. So a REST API, you make a request, it hits the server responds, we cut off the connection. A WebSocket, you connect to the backend service, it doesn't cut off the connection. It keeps it alive. So instead of every time you have another request, you connect, then you disconnect. This one connects once, doesn't disconnect. And that allows us to cut what we call latency and all other issues that come with spinning up. Like there is a whole nuance to go there. But the point is the connection stays alive. Now, what we can do, we can have Python, a Python engine this side, then we have a front end this side. Now we use WebSockets to connect the Python interpreter with the front end, so that when a user clicks a button on the front end, we send, let's say, post request to this service and tell it someone has clicked. It immediately generates a new UI, sends it quickly to the front end. And because here they are using WebSockets, WebSockets, what your chat applications use, it almost feels instant. Now you wouldn't notice that this is not real. Like on the front end, it would appear as if you've clicked the button, it acted right away. Yet in reality, everything is not being actually done on the front end. We are quickly doing it on the back end. I don't know if a Scala is loaded. Oh, this is going to be hard, because if there is no, I need a way to draw, yeah? I need to show people. Let's see. This is not my machine, guys. Don't sacrifice me. You have anywhere like a whiteboard, yeah, where I can just draw my things. Yeah. Yeah, maybe untitled. Okay, new. I can draw. Is there like a pen? Let's see. I want like a free what? Yeah. These are shapes, but no worries. Okay. Let's go with this. Okay. Yeah. All right. Time is up. I'm sure I'm not going to be able to draw. Yeah. You know what? Let me just try to explain, and I will give you references then. First, take me back to the presentation. Okay. Those who want to explore more over the wire approach, go and see LiveWire, how it is used in Laravel and how it is used in Stimulus. Now, you notice that I'm referencing even another language altogether. That's why I was saying this problem is not only Python specific. We solve it here, we solved it everywhere. So one approach is we can have a wire. Then the second one is Trojan horse. Who knows a Trojan horse? Well, who knows a Trojan? No hackers here? Sure. Okay. Okay. Now, for those who enjoy movies, there is a movie called Helen of Troy, you can see. Basically, is a Trojan horse is, they built a horse, then they gifted it to the other kingdom, but in the horse they had hidden their armies inside. So when these guys took the gift inside, in the middle of their Paris, then at night these guys came out. So Trojan horse is something that is pretending to be something different. Mostly, even Trojan horse in hacking, they kind of work in a similar way. So what do we mean here? Trojan horse, we can use Flutter, for example. Flutter gives you an application, you have buttons and what? But here's the thing, they are all just illusions. It is not actually using the native buttons on the devices or what. It is drawing its own interface on top, yeah? Everything it's doing it on its own. You see a button in Flutter and what? It's drawing its own UI. So we can do this. We can have Python to not use the web platform at all, but instead do things to feel like the web platform. For example, imagine I use Python and some graphics. I can C can do graphics and UIs, yeah? Or we can use the HTML canvas only. So we can draw our own kind of button. We can draw our own kind of every element we want on the web, and then that's what we are showing to people. In the reality, we are not using the web itself because the web can't understand us. I don't know if that concept makes sense. Look at Flutter, their architecture, and how they do under to explore more this approach. There is the facade pattern. If you know patterns in software, there is the facade. A facade is like you build a fancy layer on top of a very complex one, and then you expose the fancy one. For example, all frameworks are facades to the language, but they try to abstract away the logic and all that. They give you an API to use, a facade, or an abstraction on top. So an example is React Native there. They, though they changed their architecture, which I'm going to talk about also, but what they do is Android, some people can build mobile apps in, what I'm doing here, maybe to give you a high level, I'm borrowing from how others have approached this problem, and then I'm borrowing that to show you how we can use Python in a browser that doesn't understand Python. That's what I'm showing. So the patterns. So what React Native does, Android doesn't understand JavaScript because React Native is JavaScript. What they do, they say import a button from React Native. That button, in reality, it's abstracting away the native button that is maybe implemented in the native language that the Android understands. So they are building a fancy facade on top, an API on top that actually calls the native APIs under, So when you import a button, let's say in that, you are actually, you are using it like here in the language you understand just, but under the hood, they are actually calling Java or whatever platform you own or Swift. So we can do the same with Python. We can import a button from Python, but yet you use it in your Python language. But for us under the hood, we call, if we on the browser that understands JavaScript, we call JavaScript under the hood. That's the pattern. Then there is the bridge. The bridge, what you do, you put a translator in the middle. There is the web here, or the browser here, there is Python here. So the browser doesn't understand Python. You put a translator in the middle. Python says, print hello world. The translator says, what have you said, printing? Oh, the browser calls that console.log. So this guy calls console.log instead, and data will log on the console. That's the bridge, kind of. So you have to build a translator. Then, okay. Then another one we have there is parallel worlds. So this one I came up with it yesterday night as I was thinking. The browser has what we call a virtual DOM or a DOM, which is like, if you know OOP, you have like oh, how can I bring that? This is hard to explain. Okay, let's do this. Who knows Legos here or bricks? Let's use bricks. Everyone knows bricks, yeah? Who doesn't know bricks? Like brick making, bricks in the village. Who doesn't know them? No one, yeah. So imagine we have two bricks. One are made of a different material. These ones are also made of a different material. So this is what I want us to do. We are building a structure this side and a structure this side. What we want is we try to make sure the structures are the same. So I build a DOM in Python. I also build a DOM in the browser. Now, whenever there are changes in the DOM in the browser, I take the same thing, I apply it to the DOM this side. Now, the actual logic and business will happen on this structure of Python, but then the showing of what is happening I can show it with this. If you start to have frameworks, let's say like React, have the virtual DOM and the real DOM, you can explore this pattern more. Then there is the WebAssembly. The last one, I'm not going to explain it. You do your own research, the immediate graphics mode. The one of WebAssembly, that's the one I wanted to show you guys on, but time may not allow, I don't know. I want to talk more words on that, therefore. For that one, let me just move on. These are the libraries you can look up to. Oh, yeah, it's time, but a few minutes, please. So, no? Well, okay. Ah, all right, all right. Okay, okay. Let me just finish this. These are the libraries you can look up to. Yeah. These ones are using Python for front end. And when you look at how they operate, those are the patterns I've just explained. PyScript is shipping an entire interpreter of Python and putting it in the browser using WebAssembly. And it has proved to work well. It's how Figma shipped C++ into the browser. That's how it's performant like that. So PyScript is using Pyodide, which is a Python interpreter, but compiled in WebAssembly, and then it's shipped to the browser, so the browser can understand PyScript or Python without any hassles. You can look at Reflex, you can look at FastHTML, you can look at MISOP, all these. Yeah, you can look at them. Though for advice, this is a new way. I don't recommend you use it for business. Maybe you can use Reflex since they received some funding, so that's a bit safe. That is it. These are the coming innovations in the web space. WebAssembly, more languages are going to start also work in the browser. That's the future where we're going. I would not advise you to know one language at this point because the future is multidiscipline languages. You know your C, you can use it everywhere. You know your Python, you can use it everywhere. Then WebSockets, I told you. Then hybrid runtimes, which can understand more than one language. You can look at something like Python Monkey, something like that. It's an hybrid runtime. This other one, you can go and research, GSI and foreign functions. Yeah, you can go and explore that. All right, this was supposed to be a demo, but I'm going to give you the links where you can go. Just clone the repo, run the HTML file. It will open the browser, click the button, it will click. Look, the code is just Python, not JavaScript. Yeah. I don't know if I am allowed for questions, so I'm going to skip. That is, you can connect with me there if you have more questions. Yeah, it has been, yeah, a short time to deliver you all this. Let me share the resources. Then for questions, you can find me personally and you can ask any. I want hard questions if you have them, please. Yeah. If you don't ask, I'll be very, very disappointed. For sure. So for the whatever, yeah, let me. The link is very simple. The link is very simple. I swear. I swear. So this is the link. Okay. So the link is just that dub.sh/PyCon Uganda 2024 with hyphens. Everything is there. Thank you.